We're going to talk about time-varying transitions and payoffs in Markov cohort simulation. Previously, in each cycle, the transition probabilities and payoffs in each of the health states were the same. This isn't always realistic. For example, the risk of general mortality increases with age, and generally quality of life will decrease with age as well. We're going to update our illness-death model from the previous lesson with time-varying transitions, specifically for general mortality. So here you'll see we have our updated transition probability matrix, and we now have this QX quantity here, which is the probability of entering the dead state in each cycle from the healthy state. It's also in the diseased state, we have 4% plus whatever QX is. So you're always more likely to die if you're in the diseased state versus in the healthy state. But you're also more likely to die as you get further and further into the model, i.e. the older you get. And here we have the values of QX that we're going to use. The reason I've called it QX is because if you ever look in a life table, QX is the name of this quantity, so the probability of dying before your next birthday, conditional on having survived to this birthday. Also in this transition probability matrix, you'll see we have this hash sign or pound sign. That just means put a number in here so that the row sums to 100%. So when QX is 1%, that will be 3%, that will be 1%, so this will need to be 96%, and so on. Here's an example where we're in a cycle between 11 and 20, where QX is 2%, so the probability of going to the disease state is 3%, the probability of going to the dead state is 2%, the probability of remaining in the healthy state must therefore be 95%. And here you'll see that that 2% is the same here, but when you're in the disease state, you have that excess risk of death from the disease of 4% in each cycle. We can also have time-varying payoffs in our model. So previously, in the healthy state, we had a standard cost of 50 per cycle, and we had 0.9 QALYs accrued per cycle. Well, now we've changed it so that in the earlier cycles, the costs associated with the healthy state are much lower, but they increase a bit over time, and that the QALYs associated with the healthy state start off high and then diminish over time. And we've done a similar thing with the diseased state costs and the diseased state QALYs, as you can see. It can make a bit of a difference. So this plot here is showing you the cohort membership over the course of the model. So on the left hand side, we're not varying these things according to time. And you'll see that by the time we hit 40 cycles, we've got about 600 people have died from this initial cohort size of 1,000. Whereas in the time-varying model, we've had much greater numbers dying. So we're up more like 850 have died. Your next steps then are to implement time-varying transition probabilities and payoffs in Excel or R, or to go ahead and learn about the difference between rates and risks.